Friends, today we'll be continuing with the discussion of NEET 2023 Part-2 Zoology paper. So in the earlier video, I had discussed about Part-1, the botany part of it. So the remaining 45, totally 50 questions, because this was the old format where there was a section A and section B. So we'll be continuing with that. So let us begin with the first question of this. Given below are statements. One is labeled as assertion and the other is labeled as reason. Assertion: nephrons are of two types, cortical nephrons and juxtamedullary nephrons, based on their relative position in cortex and medulla. Reason: juxtamedullary nephrons have a short loop of Henle, whereas cortical nephrons have longer loop of Henle. So in the light of the above statements, choose the correct answer. So here the correct answer is A is true but R is false. So juxtamedullary nephrons have a short loop of Henle, whereas cortical nephrons have longer loop of Henle. So that reason is false part of it. So A is correct. Nephrons are of two types. That is correct statement. So the reason is a wrong part of it. But R is false. A is true, correct statement. R is false. Next one, match the following. Here you can see in the list one, fovea, iris, blind spot, sclera. You have to compare this with the correct part of it. So what is fovea? Is it the visible colored portion of eye that regulates the diameter of pupil? Or is it external layer of eye formed of dense connective tissue? Or point of greatest visual acuity or resolution? Or fourth one, point where optic nerves leave the eyeball and photoreceptor cells are absent. So you have to match this list one with list two. The correct answer is second option. A is 3. So the point of greatest visual acuity or resolution. So best vision that we can have is fovea. Iris is 1, visible colored portion of eye that regulates the diameter of pupil. Blind spot is fourth option, point where optic nerve leaves the eyeball and photoreceptor cells are absent. So that you can notice in the blind spot. So C4. D is 2. The sclera is external layer of eye formed of dense connective tissue. So these are the options that you have to match in the column 1 and column 2. Second one is the correct option. So the next question is, which of the following is carried out by cytoskeleton in a cell? Transport, protein synthesis, nuclear division, motility. So what is the role played by cytoskeleton in the cell? The correct option is motility. So cytoskeleton in a cell helps in the motility of the cell. Fourth option is correct. Given below are the two statements. Statement 1, ligaments are dense, irregular tissue. Statement 2, cartilage is dense, regular tissue. In the light of the above statements, choose the correct answer. So you have statement 1 and statement 2 questions. So here the correct answer is both statement 1 and statement 2 are false. So ligaments are dense, regular tissue they are. Cartilage is dense, irregular tissue. So instead they have given wrong statement. So both statement 1 and statement 2 are false. So cartilage is skeletal tissue. Now rather than dense irregular, it is skeletal tissue. So the next option is, this is from the drugs and other part of it, man in health and disease topic. So match the following list: heroin, marijuana, cocaine, morphine. So the list B, they have given effect on cardiovascular system, slow down body function, painkiller, and interfere with transport of dopamine. So the answer for this is the third option, heroin. It slows down the body function. Marijuana, effect on cardiovascular system. Cocaine, so C4, it is interfering with the transport of dopamine. Morphine, so D3, that is a painkiller. So these are the correct options for it. So second one, heroin is slow down the body function. Marijuana is going to effect on cardiovascular system. Cocaine is the interfere with transport of dopamine. Morphine is a painkiller. So a second option is correct option. Which of the following is not a cloning vector? Probe, YAC, BAC, PBR322. Here probe is not a cloning vector. So that is the incorrect statement. So incorrect option is probe. Whereas remaining yeast, bacterial and PBR322, all of these are correct option. Which of the following are not considered as part of endomembrane system? Endomembrane system has four components. You know them as vacuoles, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum, and lysosomes. So mitochondria is not a part of endomembrane system. A, chloroplast. C, paroxysm, ACE. So the correct answer for this, which are not part of endomembrane system, is AC and E only. So third option is correct. So mitochondria, chloroplasts, and peroxisomes are not part of endomembrane system. Which of the following statements are correct regarding female reproductive cycle? So you should find out the correct statements here. First statement is in non-primate mammals, cyclical changes during reproduction are called estrous cycle. First menstrual cycle begins at puberty and is called menopause. This is a incorrect statement. Then lack of menstruation may be indicative of pregnancy. Then cyclic menstruation extends between menarche and menopause. So choose the most appropriate answers. So following statements, which of them are correct? So the correct options are A, C and D only, first option. In non-primate mammals, estrous cycle. In primates, it is called as menstrual cycle. Then B is wrong. I had already told you. First menstrual cycle begins at puberty and is called menarche, and it is not menopause. Menopause is the end stage. Lack of menstruation may be indicative of pregnancy. It is also correct. Cyclic menstruation extends between menarche and menopause. That is also correct statement. So only B is wrong statement. So the correct statements are A, C and D only. Which of the following techniques does not serve the purpose of early diagnosis of a disease for its early treatment? So early diagnosis of a disease. So among this, which of them? So I think the serum and urine analysis doesn't give the early diagnosis, whereas the remaining of them, they give the early diagnosis of disease and we could start the treatment early. Serum and urine analysis is usually seen after the progressive stage of the disease and symptoms are seen. So they are visible during that. So third option is incorrect part of it. So you cannot see the early diagnosis of disease through serum and urine analysis. So serum and urine analysis is the correct option for this question. So list one, match the following. A ringworm, you know that the scientific name is Trichophyton. Filariasis, Wuchereria bancrofti. Malaria, Plasmodium vivax. Pneumonia, Haemophilus influenza. So A2, B3. So we have to look into that option. A2, B3, C4. So second option is correct. A2, B3, C4, D1. Second option is correct. You can see here ringworm, Trichophyton, Filariasis, Wuchereria bancrofti, malaria, Plasmodium vivax. Pneumonia is Haemophilus influenza. Streptococcus pneumonia is also another bacteria which causes pneumonia. So the correct option is A2, B3, C4, D1. Given below are the two statements. One is assertion and reason type of question. Here it is. Amniocentesis for sex determination is one of the strategies of reproductive and child healthcare program. Reason: ban on amniocentesis increases checks increasing menace of female feticide. So here both the A is false but R is true. Amniocentesis for sex determination is one of the strategies of reproductive and child health care program. That is wrong. RCH program, it is not a part of it. But second reason part of the statement is correct. So A is false but R is true. Given below are two statements. RNA mutates at a faster rate. Statement 2, viruses have RNA genome and shorter lifespan, mutate and evolve faster. In the light of the above statements, choose the correct answer. So which is the correct statement and wrong statement you have to see. So both statement 1 and statement 2 are true. RNA is highly unstable, you know that. So RNA mutates at a faster rate. Viruses having RNA genome and shorter lifespan mutate and evolve faster. That is very true. So that is why mutations are more in viruses having RNA genome, including the coronavirus. So the second option, both statement 1 and 2 are true. That is the correct part of it. In prokaryotes, the positively charged DNA is held with some negatively charged proteins in a region called nucleoid. In eukaryotes, the negatively charged DNA is wrapped around the positively charged histone octamer to form nucleosome. Here, statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is true. So DNA is so in both of them it is negatively charged DNA. So statement 2 is correct, but statement 1 is wrong. Prokaryote statement, that is wrong. So match the following. Again, there is a scientific name towards one end, and some of the organs of that. Tinea solium, it comes under Ascalmenthus. So the roundworms. No, Tinea solium is tapeworm. It comes under Platyhelminthes. So what are the components of the Platyhelminthes? Nephridia, you can see it in Annelida, not contractile vacuole in Paramecium is correct. So tinea, you can see the flame cells. So the list where it has A3. So fourth option is correct. B, Paramecium contractile vacuole. Periplaneta, that is cockroach, they would be having the uricose gland. C, Periplaneta americana. Ferritima is the scientific name of earthworm. They would be having the nephridia. So the fourth option is correct. Fifth one, so it is the lac operon concept that you can see. Z by A, you can know that you can remember them as structural gene. Z is beta galactosidase, beta galactoside permease is Y gene, A is transacetylase. So on that basis, so we have gene A is repressor protein. So A4, no, Z by A, I'm sorry, gene I is repressor protein. So gene A is transacetylase. So A2, wherever it begins, and gene Y is permease, and gene I is beta galactosidase. Let us look into the answer. A2, gene A is transacetylase, gene Y is B3 permease, gene I is repressor protein, gene Z is beta galactosidase, that is D1. So the third option is correct for this. Match the following. Again, there is a match the following in section A. Vasectomy, so it is the surgical method. Coitus interruptus, it is a natural method. Cervical method, CAPS is barrier method. Saheli is oral method. So the option is A3, B4, C2, D1. So vasectomy is A3, surgical method. Coitus interruptus is natural method. Cervical CAPS is barrier method. Saheli is oral method. A3, B4, C2, D1. Broad palm with single palm crease is visible in a person suffering from Down syndrome. This is a characteristic feature of Down syndrome, mongoloid idiopathy or Down syndrome. So, which is because of 21st chromosome trisomy. So, Down syndrome is the answer. Given below are two statements, assertion and reason. Endometrium is necessary for implantation of blastocyst. In the absence of fertilization, the corpus luteum degenerate that causes disintegration of endometrium. So in the light of this, you have to see that both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. It is not the correct explanation of A, that endometrium is necessary for implantation of blastocyst. So third option, both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Vital capacity of lung is, so VC of lung is, it looks more like the first option, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume plus TV. The residual volume altogether total lung capacity, we know that. So VC is IRV plus ERV plus TV. So first option is correct. Given below are two statements. A protein is imagined as a line, the left end represented by first amino acid C terminal. This statement is wrong. It should be N terminal, and last is C terminal. Statement 2, adult human hemoglobin consists of 4 subunits, 2 subunits of alpha and 2 subunits of beta type. Statement 2 is correct. Statement 1 is incorrect. So statement 1 is false, but statement 2 is true. So that is the answer for this. Which one of the following common sexually transmitted disease is completely curable when detected early and treated properly? So this would be, is it HIV infection, gonorrhea, genital herpes, or hepatitis B? The answer is Neisseria gonorrhea, which causes gonorrhea. This can be treated. If it is detected early, it can be treated. Remaining are all difficult. So given below are two statements. Statement 1, vas deferens receives a duct from seminal vesicle and opens into urethra as the ejaculatory duct. Statement 2, the cavity of the cervix is called cervical canal, which along with vagina forms birth canal. In the light of the above statements, choose the correct option. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. So vas deferens receives a duct from seminal vesicle and opens into urethra as ejaculatory duct. That is correct. Cavity of the cervix is called cervical canal, which along with vagina forms the birth canal. That is also correct statement. So both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. The next question is match the following again. It is from the ECG. P wave, Q wave, QRS complex, and T wave. So we have to match them correctly. The correct answer is P wave results in depolarization of atria. Q wave, beginning of systole. QRS complex, that is C is 4, depolarization of ventricles, and T wave is repolarization of ventricles. So PQ, QRS, T wave. So P wave is depolarization of atria. Q wave is beginning of systole. QRS complex is depolarization of ventricles. T wave is repolarization of ventricles. So second option is correct. Radial symmetry is not found in adults of phylum Echinodermata. The answer is, radial symmetry is not found in adults of phylum. See, Echinodermata, adults have radial symmetry, but larvae has bilateral symmetry. Now, Ctenophora coelenterata, adults are having radial symmetry, even the larvae has radial symmetry. So, Hemichordata is the one in which the adults are Radial symmetry is not found in adults of phylum Hemichordata. Remaining in all of them, they are found. So that's a tricky question that they had asked, isn't it? So next question, which one of the following symbol represents mating between relatives in human pedigree analysis? Human pedigree analysis, the diagram part of it. So here the diagram part isn't there, sorry for that. So consanguineous mating, double line connecting square and circle. Mating between relatives in human pedigree analysis is third one, consanguineous marriage or mating, where it is shown by two double line connecting square male and circle female. Option 3 is correct for that. Now here the next one, select the correct group or set of Australian marsupials exhibiting adaptive radiation. See, all of them should be marsupials. Lemur and anteater wolf, that is not there. Numbat, spotted cuscus, flying phalanger, Tasmanian wolf, bobcat, marsupial mole, mole, flying squirrel, Tasmanian tiger cat. So it looks more like the third option, numbat, spotted cuscus, flying phalanger. All the three are the marsupials. Bobcat is not a marsupial. Lemur, the wolf, they are all not the marsupials. Mole, flying squirrel, they are not marsupials. So the correct answer where all the three are marsupials are numbat, spotted cuscus, flying phalanger. So the next question, a leopard and a lion in a forest grassland. What do they? Leopard and a lion in a forest grassland. It is going to be more of competition. A cuckoo laying eggs in a crow's nest, brood parasitism. So A1, B2. Fungi and root of a higher plant in mycorrhizae, mutualism. A1, B2, C3, D4. So this is the correct example of it. So second option is correct. All of them are, they are not intercrossed. They are all having the correct selections. So A1, B2, C3, D4. The answer is A1, B2, C3, D4. A leopard and a lion, it represents competition. Cuckoo laying eggs in a crow's nest, brood parasitism. Fungi and root of a higher plant in mycorrhiza, mutualism. A cattle egret and a cattle in a field, commensalism. Next one, this is more from the digestive system topic. Peptic cells, goblet cells. Goblet cells secrete mucus. So B1, wherever it is having that options, we have to see. Third and fourth are having goblet cells secreting mucus. Hepatic cells, you should remember, is bile juice. So BD, if you know, B1, D2. Which option is having B1 and D2? So fourth option is going to be correct. A3, peptic cells, proenzyme pepsinogen. Oxyntic cells, HCl and so A3, B1, C4, D2. So fourth option is correct. Peptic cells, they secrete proenzyme pepsinogen. Goblet cells, mucus. Oxyntic cells, HCl and intrinsic factor. Hepatic cells, bile juice. Correct option is option 4. Again, match the following with this CCK, cholecystokinin. It is more concerned with the pancreas. GIP, gastric gland, it would be neutral factor, atrial natriuretic factor. It is ANF is in heart. ADH, antidiuretic hormone, kidney. So A4 option, then B3, A4, B3 is second option. C2, atrial natriuretic factor. D1, antidiuretic hormone, kidney. So second option, A4, B3, C2, D1 is correct for this match the following. Very interesting match the followings they have given. in this topic. In this particular paper, you can see more of match the following is there. Once the undigested and unabsorbed substances enter the cecum, their backflow is prevented by. So cecum, they are talking about, their backflow is prevented by pyloric sphincter, ileocecal by a valve, sphincter of Oddi, gastroesophageal sphincter. Cecum, it is more of the third option, heliocecal valve. This is again in the digestive system chapter, which isn't there for you. Remember, this prevents the backflow of food from the cecum, ileocecal valve. Again, there is a match the following types of joints they have given, in which of them, and how examples they have given at the other side. Okay, so the ball and socket joint is quite easy to remember, between humerus and pectoral girdle. So B4, B4 almost 1, 3 also has B4, and 1, 3 and 4, they are all having B4. Cartilaginous joint. So between adjacent vertebrae, A2, you have to see A2, B4. So most probably the one or the third one, fibrous joint between carpal and metacarpal of, so it is between flat skull bones. So C1, so A2, B4, C1. So third option is the correct one. Saddle joint is between carpal and metacarpal of thumb. Very interesting question. As match the following, they have asked this, the different types of joints. Which of the following statement is correct? So correct statement, algal bloom decreases fish mortality. That is wrong. It actually increases fish mortality, that is death rate. So biomagnification refers to increase in concentration of the toxicant at successive trophic level. Eutrophication refers to increase in domestic sewage and wastewater in lakes. Presence of large amount of nutrients in water restricts algal bloom. Fourth one is wrong. Eutrophication refers to aging up of the lake. So third option is correct. Among this, biomagnification refers to increase in concentration of the toxicant at successive trophic levels. So third option is correct. Next question, given below are the two statements. Electrostatic precipitator is most widely used in thermal power plants. This is from environmental issues. Now at present this chapter might not be there, but anyway, know this. Electrostatic precipitator in thermal power plants removes ionizing radiations. Choose the most appropriate answer. Here the answer is statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. In which blood corpuscles the HIV undergoes replication and produces progeny viruses? It is usually in which blood corpuscle? The probably the answer for this is T helper cells. T helper cells is the answer. The HIV undergoes replication. It's not in eosinophils or B lymphocytes or basophils. It's in T helper cells, where you find they undergo replication and produce the progeny viruses. Given below are two statements. Low temperature preserves the enzyme in a temporarily inactive state, whereas high temperature destroys enzymatic activity because proteins are denatured by heat. First statement seems to be correct. Second one, when the inhibitor closely resembles the substrate in molecular structure and inhibits the activity of the enzyme, it is known as competitive inhibitor. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are true. Yes, the second option is correct for this. Both the statements are correct. Select the correct statements with reference to chordates. So presence of mid-dorsal, solid and double nerve cord. Presence of closed circulatory system, presence of paired pharyngeal gill slits, presence of dorsal heart, triploblastic pseudocoelomate animals. So you have to choose the correct statement. Uh, so presence of mid dorsal solid and double nerve cord doesn't seem to be right. Presence of closed circulatory system is seen in most of them. There is no open circulatory system in any of them. Presence of correct statement with reference to chordates they have asked. Presence of paired pharyngeal gill slits. Um, Presence of paired pharyngeal gill slits. So B, the answer here is B and C only, because presence of D is ventral heart, and E, you know that it is already wrong. We are coelomates, not pseudocoelomate. Which of the following statements are correct regarding skeletal muscles? Muscle bundles are held together by a collagenous connective tissue layer called fascicle. Sarcoplasmic reticulum of muscle fiber is a storehouse of calcium ions. Striated appearance of skeletal muscle fiber is due to distribution pattern of actin and myosin proteins. M line is considered as a functional unit of contraction called sarcomere. So D is incorrect. So here the correct statements are, so it looks like the B and C only. So muscle fibers are held together by collagenous connective tissue layer called fascicle. That is wrong. Sarcoplasmic reticulum of muscle fibers is a storehouse of calcium ion and striated appearance. So these two statements are correct, B and C. A and D are incorrect statement. Which of the following is a sequence of corresponding coding strand if the sequence on mRNA found is AUC? So coding strand, it is not a template strand. Coding strand will be having the exactly the same, except U will be replaced by T. So you have to ATC, it should begin with. So AUC is there. Instead it should be having ATC, and they'll also be from 5 prime to 3 prime. So read this. ATC, fourth option is correct. GAT. So fourth option is correct. See, template strand will be complementary. Coding strand of DNA, they are not involved in the synthesis of mRNA, but they have similar coding sequence as that of mRNA, except instead of uracil, they'll be having thymine. So fourth option is correct one. This is a tricky question that they have asked it. Given below are two statements. During G0 phase of cell cycle, the cell is metabolically inactive. It is wrong. The cell does not proliferate, but they are metabolically active. Statement 1 is wrong. Quiescent center, metabolically they are active, but they do not proliferate. Statement 2, the centrosome undergoes duplication during S phase of interphase. Statement 2 is correct. Statement 1 is false. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. So you can notice that many of the cell biology questions have been asked under zoology in this particular 2023. Which of the following are not under the control of thyroid hormone? Maintenance of water and electrolyte balance, regulation of basal metabolic rate, normal rhythm of sleep-wake cycle, development of which of them are not under the control of thyroid hormone? Development of immune system, support the process of RBC formation. So incorrect statements you have to identify. So here, so for me it seems more to be C, and let us cross check the answer. C and D only. So normal rhythm of sleep-wake cycle, development of immune system is not under the control of thyroid hormone. Remaining are all under the control of thyroid hormone. In cockroach, excretion is brought about by, is it phallic gland, uricose gland, nephrocytes, fat body, collateral glands? So the excretion is brought about by, so it is structure of cockroach. You have to look into that. The correct answer for this is B, C and D only. Phallic gland is not involved, but uricose gland, nephrocytes, fat body, so they are all involved in excretion. Collateral gland and phallic glands, they are not involved in excretion. B, C and D are the correct option. So next one, probably from the animal tissue, they have asked it. So mast cells, so ciliated epithelium, areolar connective tissue. A2, inner surface of bronchiole. Blood is, so what type of tissue blood is? It is a specialized connective tissue. So A2, C4, wherever they are having this option, there it is correct. So A2, C4, B1, ciliated epithelium, C is 4, specialized connective tissue, tubular part of nephron, cuboidal epithelium. So A2, B1, C4, D3. So fourth option is correct in this. Mast cells, areolar connective tissue, inner surface of bronchiole, ciliated epithelium, blood, specialized connective tissue, tubular parts of nephron, they are made up of cuboidal epithelium. So fourth option is correct. Which of the following is characteristic feature of cockroach regarding sexual dimorphism? So is it presence of anal cerci, presence of anal styles, dark brown body and anal cerci, presence of sclerites? So it is more of presence of anal styles. Only males have anal styles, whereas both male and female have anal cerci. So presence of anal styles. Select the correct statements. Tetrad formation, again this is from cell cycle and cell division. So tetrad formation is seen during leptotene. Wrong it is. During anaphase, the centromere split and chromatids separate. Correct statement it is. Terminalization takes place during pachytene. Wrong. Terminalization takes place during diplotene, the diakinesis, not during pachytene. So the correct statements are, there is B is correct. Nucleolus, Golgi complex and endoplasmic reticulum are formed during telophase. That seems to be correct. B, D. Crossing over takes place between sister chromatids of, it is non-sister chromatids, not sister chromatids. So only B and D are correct statements. Remaining are all incorrect statements. Which of the following is not an advantage of inbreeding? It decreases the productivity of inbred population after continuous inbreeding. So this seems to be correct statement. It explores harmful recessive genes that are eliminated by selection. So third one doesn't seem to be correct. It decreases homozygosity and elimination of less desirable genes and accumulation of superior genes takes place due to it. So rather fourth seems to be see, it decreases the productivity of inbred population after continuous inbreeding. So this is not an advantage, so it is a disadvantage. So first option is a disadvantage of inbreeding. So it exposes harmful recessive genes, that is an advantage of inbreeding. It decreases homozygosity. So all the others are not an advantage, that is disadvantages. So only the correct one is first option. The remaining three are incorrect one. Next question, the unique mammalian characteristics are only seen in mammal. Pinna, monocondylic skull is wrong, mammary glands okay. Hairs, pinna, and mammary glands. Yes, this seems to be correct. Hairs, tympanic membrane, and mammary glands. Hairs, pinna, and indirect development. So third option seems to be correct. Hairs, pinna, and mammary glands, they are seen in the mammals. So unique mammalian characteristics. The part of human brain that helps in regulation of sexual behavior, expression of excitement, pleasure, rage, fear, etc. are. Which is that part of the brain? Is it corpus callosum and thalamus, corpora quadrigemina and hippocampus, limbic system and hypothalamus, brainstem and epithalamus? So pain and pleasure region you have to remember about. So the limbic system and hypothalamus is the correct option. So here they have this as a match the following again. Logistic growth, when does it take place? Limited resource availability condition. Exponential growth, unlimited. So A2, B1. So wherever that option is there, only second option seems to be having it. It is the correct one. Expanding age pyramid. So what does it indicate? Pre-reproductive age is largest, followed by reproductive and post-reproductive age groups. Stable age pyramid, pre-reproductive and reproductive groups are same. So A2, B1, C3, D4. These are the correct option. So organism and population, they have asked this question from. Which of the following statement is correct? Basophils are most abundant cells of the total WBC. Basophils secrete histamine, serotonin, and heparin. Basophils are involved in inflammatory response. Basophils have kidney-shaped nucleus. Basophils are agranulocytes. So you have to choose the correct option. Basophils are not most abundant cells of total WBC. That is incorrect. Basophil secretes histamine. That seems to be incorrect. So here probably C and B and C are correct statement. Basophils secrete histamine, serotonin, and heparin. Basophils are involved in inflammatory response. So remaining are all incorrect statements. Which of the following statements are correct? An excessive loss of body fluid from the body switches off osmoreceptors. So we have to identify which is the correct one. ADH facilitates water reabsorption to prevent diuresis. This seems to be a correct statement. ANF, atrial natriuretic factor, causes vasodilation. ADH causes increase in blood pressure. ADH is responsible for decrease in glomerular filtration rate. So which of the following statements are correct? In this you can notice that B, C and D. So ADH facilitates water reabsorption to prevent diuresis is correct. Then there is the C part of it. ANF causes vasodilation. ADH causes increase in blood pressure. So these three statements are correct. Remaining are incorrect. B, C and D. So with this we complete our discussion on the 2023 zoology paper. So paper was quite easy. If you have analyzed here, most of the questions were a unique match the following pattern they had followed. Also you could see assertion and reason questions and very few diagrammatic questions, and you could see the statement questions, the incorrect statements. So it was quite unique and creative paper that was there. So it is difficult, average paper, but difficult. So that is my analysis of this paper. Thank you if you have enjoyed watching this video. So kindly subscribe to my channel, like and share this video with your friends who might be benefited from it. Good luck to your upcoming NEET re-examination 2026. God bless you all.